Yes, you right here. What is your name?
Jordan.
Yes, Jordan.
Out of all of Twerk's family members, which one drove you the craziest?
That's really easy. That idiot brother of mine. Although, Max who played Ron, are enormously close. We think of each other as brothers. We're very, very close. Even my real brother sometimes calls himself Ron. But as much as the character drove me crazy, I'm in love with the actor.
Yes, sir. What is your name?
David,
Hey, David.
what was the inspiration for you to start writing for your books?
So, that's a very good question, David. Thank you for asking. When you do a TV show, there are many times when you have to sit in the trailer for long periods of time while they set up, or if the scene prior to the scene you're shooting is taking a long time, they say, we'll get to you and we'll call you as soon as we're ready. So I was in my trailer often, waiting for my time to get in front of the camera. And I got bored watching TV. And prior to being an actor, when I was a very young man, I always thought I was going to be a writer. But that got put to the wayside when luck shone its face on me and I became a very successful actor. Successful in the sense that I was constantly working. And so one day, sitting in the trailer with nothing to do, I began writing this book, Illyria, and then I just kept writing and writing and writing. It took 20 years to finish Illyria. But originally that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a writer, and then I was bitten by the dark side of the force. I became an actor, and I was lucky.
So one of my greatest admirations for you is the fact that you have such range, that you can portray all of these hard-pressing, thought-provoking characters, but you can also, in the same breath, portray some of the most zany characters imaginable. So tell us a little bit about your time voicing Dr. Nefarious in the Ratchet and Clank series.
I hate squishies! Nefarious is that voice. Nefarious was, I thought it was going to be a one-time job. Nefarious, for those of you who don't know, is from a game called Ratchet and Clank. And they have done, how many, 12?
Numerous games at this point.
Yeah, 12 games, or maybe 10, maybe 12. They've also did a movie. We also did a TV show that didn't get picked up. And I have been, it's been 15 years that I've been doing Nefarious. And it's very zany. And as I said, I thought it was going to be a one-time gig. And they so loved the character that they just kept bringing him back over and over and over again. And I was delighted to be there. They're very kind to me. I'm not talking like this for 2 hours. Usually a voiceover session is 4 hours. That's the normal voiceover session. It's the union voiceover session. But after 2 hours, they stop me. And they say, we don't really want to wreck your voice, so we'll let you go after 2 hours. Which is nice because then I get 2 jobs instead of 1. And it's, the writing is delicious. It's just wonderfully. They write incredibly well for me.
Yes, you sir, what is your name?
Zach, my question is, of all the Star Trek that you have in it, besides Quark, what was the favorite character that you got a chance to do, and what was one that you wish you had a chance to play instead?
Well, except for once, I've always played Ferengi on Star Trek. And I played different Ferengi, but they've always been Ferengi. Notice it's plural of Ferengi, not Ferengis, it's Ferengi. But I did play a box. That was my original performance on Star Trek. I was a talking prop.
Oh my God, I remember that. Very interesting.
Yeah. So I've only gotten to play those. Now, as for characters that I would have liked to have played, I don't know. I would have liked to play Odo. Yeah, why not? No, you know what? That's not true. I don't know if I've been any good at it, but I think I would have liked to play Garrett.
Before we move on from one Zach to another, can you stand up for me real quick? Is that a Star Trek shirt in the font of Star Wars? Is that not blasphemous?
It's not blasphemous because I also appeared in Star Wars as well.
There you go, there you go. Yes, right over here. What is your name?
Silas. You brought up here, I have a question about, I don't know if it's the only scene that Cole and Garrett have together.
The root beer scene?
How did you decide to play that? Because I know those kind of like
Yeah, that's a very good question, and one I'm very happy to talk about. In the 7 years that I was a series regular on Deep Space Nine, and the only reason I'm saying that is because when you're a series regular, you have a little bit more leverage as a human being than you do as a guest star, or even as a recurring character.
Attention attendees.
So, in the 7 years that I was Clark, I never made a fuss about anything. They would throw all kinds of things at me, and I said, sure, you want me to play that? I'll do that. Absolutely. No problem. One of the things I used to do, mainly because of the makeup, was I would get together with the actors that I was going to do a scene with on the weekends in my house. And they would come over and we would rehearse the scenes in my house so that we would be prepared to do that when we had to do it the following week. When you're in makeup for 16 hours, as I often was, as the others were as well, Andy was, as Garrett, after about 11 hours, you sort of feel as though you have a head cold. It's as though it's a little hard to stand up straight. It's a little hard to think, especially my makeup, which was all sealed, so there was no fresh air coming in. So it was a problem. And the other actors were kind enough to come over to the house and rehearse. So Andy and I worked on the root beer scene, and we began to realize there was more to it than was on the page. Now understand, what was on the page that we were looking at is not the scene that you saw. Okay, on Monday we went in to shoot the scene. We did it. James Conway was the director, and James stopped us after we finished it and said, that's not funny. And we said, we don't think it is funny. And he said, well, he had marching orders from the producers. It was supposed to be a funny scene. And he said, can you do it not funny? And I said, yeah, but that's not the way we want to do it. So this is the first and only time as a series regular to put my foot down and said, I'm not going to do it here. He said, well, I'm going to have to call the producers in. So he did. Ira and Robert Hewitt Wolf came down, and they said, let's pop this funny thing. Ira said, can you do it our way? And Andy and I are very good actors. We said, sure, we can do it that way. And we did it for Ira. And they said, how do you want to do it? And we showed them. And Ira didn't take a beat, turned to Jim Conway and said, shoot it Armin's way. Now, they were so happy with what Andy and I did that they rewrote the scene. And it's that scene that you see on the screen. So that it's more about two Machiavels discussing Starfleet through the metaphor of root beer.